Okay, so we're gonna learn how to paint the features of the face. Last time we did the oval, so the whole point of that was to make your face look 3D, right? Okay, so the neck is shaded and the face is shaded to give that illusion of 3D. We put the highlight in on the forehead and on the nose and on the chin. We talked about the cheeks might have a highlight or like a peachier color, pinker color. And I don't have any ears on there. I just realized I forgot to put ears on my person. You should put ears on your person.
Oh,
I Looks better. Okay, so today we're going to do the face. I'm going to move this down just a little bit since I decided to sit for my demonstration. Can everybody see around me? Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Yeah, enough? Okay. All right, I'll try to stay out of the way. Okay, so with my pencil, I found the center of the head and I put my eyes 5 eyes wide, using the proportions that we learned while you were drawing. Halfway between the eyes and the chin is the nose. Halfway between the nose and the chin is the mouth, okay? The nose is as wide as the space between the eyes. The mouth is a little bit wider than that, down from the center of the eyes. This neck is thin because I was kind of channeling my inner Modigliani on this one. We're going with the longer face. And I'm also going to make the nose lines a little bit more intense on this one to show that inspiration from Modigliani style, but you don't have to do that, okay? So my color palette, I have my skin tone, brown, black, white, and then I added green for the eyes, okay? That was my eye color. Now, the very, very first thing that you're gonna do with your smallest brush is you're gonna take a small amount of white paint, and you're gonna paint the eye white on that inside edge and the outside edge. If you glob, there's something wrong. Can you guys see that? That's poking out to the side. That's not good. I'm going to just try to bend that back so it's out of the way or something, or cut it off. I don't know. Anyhow, we're going to work with it. You don't want to glob the paint on because then it's going to take too long to dry. Okay? If you end up painting the whole eye white, that's one approach, but then you need to let it dry all the way before you do the center of the eye. Okay? Okay, so my eyes are blocked in. That's the white part. Okay? I've got my newsprint to wipe my brush off with. We've talked about you don't really need water when you're doing these things because everything we're doing is blending colors. Okay? You do need something to wipe the excess paint off your brush so you can get back to that lighter color. All right. So the nostrils are one of the darker values on the face, and we talked about that when you were doing your pencil drawing. So I can take my brown and I can block in those nostrils that I've drawn. Okay, that gives me a good reference. All right, and then I'm ready to start doing some shading around the nose. Remember we talked about the nostrils are kind of a sphere, and then the center is kind of a sphere. Okay, what you want to do is you want to work with wet on wet. Remember these were skin tones, okay? So I'm going to take my plain skin tone and I'm going to go along that inside edge and get that paint wet. All right? And then when I pull my brown along that, it's not going to freak out. Okay? So a little bit of brown on my brush, and then into the wet paint here. Remember, I can dip back in the lighter color and I can blend that out. Okay, so I've got a little bit of shadow here outside my nose. I can also take a dab of the skin color and I can put a little brown in it and I can mix on my palette, like in between the holes. I can mix on my palette to make a darker brown color. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. If you're struggling with the wet on wet and you want to mix a color, so I mixed that side, look how sharp that line is. Okay, then I can wipe the extra paint off my brush and I can go back with my lighter color and I can blend it. See how that works? Which side you like better is up to you. If you want to do the wet on wet, you can do the wet on wet. You can blend it, you can mix a color up and then blend it. Okay, so you have a little bit of a shadow underneath your nose, and that's part of what gives it that that curve that's going away from you, okay? And you're gonna come up, you have a shadow on the inside edge of the eye. So if I just put this brown here, I'm gonna intentionally mess it up. So hang on. I'm gonna put this brown here, and I'm gonna do an accidental. Okay, that's really dark. We don't want that dark, right? So to fix that, I'm gonna take some of the skin tone, not a lot, and I'm gonna come right along the edge of that, and I'm gonna blend it out. That's not that bad now, right? That's workable. Okay. So there's a lot of different things you can do here to increase your shadow, and you keep brushing that along. If it gets too dark, you come back and you dab in your skin tone and you lighten it up a little bit. Okay, so now we're getting some of that. Now I got too light there again. Now it's awfully dark. So if there's a give and a take, you have to kind of experiment. Do little areas. If it's too dark, lighten it back up until you get some of that shadow in there. How's this looking to you guys? Is it starting to look like a person?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm using my little brush. Eyebrows would be up here, right? So you can choose, a shape that you want for your eyebrows. Notice I haven't done any eyelashes or anything yet. We're gonna let all of this paint dry and then do the eyelashes last. The eyelashes make a huge difference in your eye. But if your paint around them is wet, then they smear and they get all blobby. Okay, so we want this to dry before you do any of your eyelashes. Okay, so I'm making progress here. Whoops, that was awfully dark. Gotta love that, right? Oopsie. So what not to do. Okay. I want it a little bit darker on this outside edge. I haven't used any black yet either. You guys may notice that. Okay. I reserve the black for like the very last thing that I do. Okay, so I've pretty much focused just on this one side of the face. And you can tell that I mixed a little orange in with my skin tone over here to do the cheeks. So I've got to calm this down so she doesn't look like she's got a mustache, but see, I can go in with that skin tone. As long as you kind of control the colors that you've put in and you don't add a whole bunch of weird, like a whole bunch of different things, it's pretty easy to just go back and forth between light and dark and manipulate it until it looks how you want it to look. So that's your shadow there. We can come down here under the lip and add some shadow underneath the lip. Remember, this is not the lip, so it's not the pink, okay? This is the shadow that's under the lip. And there's a lot of ways to do this. If you like to watch how-to videos on YouTube, there are a ton of painting videos, how to paint a portrait or how to paint a face are good things that you could look up. You might have some shadow in here. You just have to be careful that it doesn't look like you just painted a mustache on there, right? It looks like I just painted a mustache on. So I've got to go back and I've got to figure out where my highlight is and where my shadow is. And just kind of keep working with it. Same thing here. Just keep working little bits at a time until it starts to look how you want it to look. You don't want it to be a hard line unless you do want it to be a hard line. And some people do want it to be a hard line. Okay. I'm just putting some contours in the face so you can see this is closest to me and this is where the nose is sliding down at an angle and then the cheek comes back out and then the face curves away from you. So you just want to get that illusion of form. All right, stop that video.